Hello YouTube family, James Green, short series Shenanigans. I'd like to give a big shout out, thank you to American Rotary. They sent me one of their new hats, and yes, it's kind of got this worn out frayed look on it. I guess that's the new style, have a worn out hat. But anyway, thank you again to American Rotary, you guys. I'm loving the hat. Good old fashioned mesh back and kind of a classic trucker hat. You know, I like that. That's pretty good. So you guys know I'm a big fan of them. Fantastic equipment. If you need a rotary phase converter for your garage, give him a call. Talk to Chris Fable. That guy's awesome. So what we're doing today, this video is going to be a brief overview, because then I'm going to show you one separately and individually. You guys know I recently upgraded my welding game from the Everlast Power Pro. Now, I will say this, I've been very pleased with the machine. I've had to send off for some warranty work. At the time when I purchased that machine, these were not out by Lincoln. Okay, so basically I'm upgrading my game. Everlast is taking care of the issue. I've discussed it on other social media. New company that does the warranty repairs, and it's getting all new insides. I've been guaranteed of that. And I'm getting a new pedal and new plasma torch with it, because apparently, I guess there was a recall, and the long story short, they're making it right because it wasn't ever replaced. So that's off to get replaced. When I get it back, you know, we'll just add it to the family of stuff. But I dug into my firearms collection because I hadn't been shooting a lot of stuff, and I thought, you know what? I went ahead and sold them. Not all of them, just some of them. It was very painful, but I thought, you know what? It's a good trade-off. Because I had some old Lincoln Welders and some Miller stuff back in the day, but I decided to go with Lincoln. The reason number one is I've used a lot of Lincoln stuff in the past, more so than Miller and any other brand. Like I said, at the time when I got the Everlast, Lincoln didn't have these out. These models, from my understanding and research, have been out less than 2 years. Now, the reason I got the TIG 200 Squarewave, which that's the machine sitting right back. Let me move the camera. There we go. You can see it right there. Is it will use the same consumables that I already have for my Everlast. Now, it is an AC/DC stick TIG inverter machine, IGBT technology. I've been very, very, very pleased with it. As soon as I got it, what little argon I did have left in the bottle, I went ahead and used it, and I just ran it on AC, various speeds, getting to learn the machine. I raw dogged on that thing. I just kept running bead after bead after bead after bead just to see on aluminum to see if there was going to be an issue. And duty cycle, I did not exceed the duty cycle. Then I switched over to and ran some stuff, and I just ran wire. I mean, I literally just sat there and I was just practicing my beads on some plate steel, and I just ran beads on DC. That thing lights up really, really, really smooth on DC. Now, I'm going to do separate videos and show you all the new neat stuff, but I kind of wanted to get this out there. If you are in the market, and I get nothing out of this, okay, because I bought these from my local Matheson dealer. So I've been very, very pleased with the TIG 200. If you are looking at getting into, and the price point on these, when they first came out, they're around $3,400, my understanding. They've come way down since. This, depending on where you're at in the United States now, is around $1,500 out the door. That includes your tax and everything. That is a smoking deal. I'm going to go with getting a separate plasma cutter, a Hypertherm. I'm set on the Model 45 Power Max right now, but that's down the road. That'll be, you know, I've got to save up some more money and perhaps sell off some more guns, and then I'm going to get the 45. I put it out there on social media, what brand. You know, I was looking at Hypertherm, Thermal Dynamics, and a couple others. Lincoln even has them out, but everybody says go with Hypertherm. I've known the Hypertherm a long time. My father had a Hypertherm years ago, an old model, and we loved it. It worked great, so that's probably the brand I'm going to go with. Anyway, the other Lincoln welder that I went with and stepped up my game and want to give a fellow shout out to veteran buddy of mine, friend of mine, Chad. He has this welder, and he's talked about it. I was looking at getting the 210. Now, the reason I got the Lincoln, it's the 180 dual, meaning it's dual voltage, okay? And they also gave me the spool gun with it, and I got the spool gun. It's sitting over there. They hooked me up with a package deal. So the 180 dual, and you can run either shielded or flux core or gas with this. And I've got my gas set up. Matter of fact, I've got some flux core wire in there, and I was playing around with the dual shield just to see, because I've got a couple old spools from way back in the day. I have a, well, it's over at my dad's. It's a little Miller Sidekick. We got that thing way back in the 90s, and he still uses it. And when we got it, we got like a case of these giant rolls of flux core. And so I've got some of that stuff. I'm using that just to learn the machine, and I'll use it on other stuff too. And I've already burned through a 1-pound spool of some flux core that came with it just to learn the machine. Literally just sitting there while I'm running, changing the speeds and the voltages, kind of find, you know, for different metals, trying to find the sweet spot. So I love this machine. Very, very pleased with it. I'll go ahead and show you the sides of this since it's here. And I know everyone's like, you need to have your bottle tied down. I've got it over here right now just so I could play. And I'm going to be doing some stuff. So let me open this up here. Alright. Now, I will say this. I like the insides. It's got metal in here for those of you that know or are curious. So the drive mechanism is all metal, okay? Very, very easy to get to. You can do the large spools like this, and then it comes with some smaller spools here. And I've got a pile of small spools of wire. So that's what they sent with me, the Super Arc 025, and this is some 035. And it also come with another bottle, well, it's already used up now, but it came with another 1-pound spool of shielded wire. I ran through it, and it come with a little package here. A little, here's an extra, well, you got tips in there. I don't want to open it up because I don't want to lose the parts. And this is for 025 to 035. It's a spare little rod to get your wire started. It's really, really, really easy. You guys, this is really handy to set up. And what I like about it, when you open it up, you've got this cheat sheet in here. Man, this is so handy. I'm loving this. This one thing that sold me when I got that Lincoln on the top. I get the new thing with Lincoln. They're putting user guide, so you know. So this is a dual voltage machine. So this side, it's if you're using 120, and it's got the power leads. So note, when I was buying this, the salesman told me, and I didn't know, and I'm just passing this along. What he said was, if you're running this on you know the 120 volt low voltage, and you're needing to really crank the amps up, he said you can, the lead that comes with it, he said, because it'll throw a 15 amp breaker. So he said you need to go bigger, and there's a different adapter they have that for the low voltage, so you can run a bigger, because the plug itself will melt and come down. He said you can try to sneak up on it if you're really coordinated, and you can turn your voltage up over here. He said, but if you're trying to run max voltage for a really long time on the low voltage, you can burn the plug up on it. And that was just information he gave. But it gives you a size here, the whole chart, your DC negative, DC positive, and then your aluminum, the MIG gun, and then also over here on DC for stainless. And it gives you your speeds and feeds for your wire speed. And so wire speed is from 1 to 10, and voltage is A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J. So it's alphabet, plain and simple. American alphabet, cuts it down, and that's just to get you down. Now obviously once you get to whatever voltage or whatever material you're doing, you can sit there and play with it. This side is also, depending on your size wire, it also has a diagram and shows you for 280 or 230 volt single phase, which that's how this is wired up right now, and it gives you the same, okay, and it also shows you the angles, okay, and your approximate wire speed depending on your diameter, and then your voltage. So that's cool. I'm loving that. This is really, really easy to put together. And when you go to change from your DC electrode negative or electrode positive, you will see right down here, there you go. All you do is loosen those wing nuts. Like right now, my ground is right here. You loosen these wing nuts, and that's how you change your polarity to go from DC negative to DC positive, and vice versa. And also when you need to go for running the TIG gun now, or for running the spool gun. So let me back this up here. So like I said, I am going to do some separate videos of running these. For this video, I am going to go ahead, since I got a little project set up, and we're going to run the wire welder. Because I do want to sit down. I don't want to try to cram too much of both machines in one episode. I just want to kind of tell you what I got going on. We're going to rotate this around. I'll set the camera behind me real quick. And like I said, guys, when I first got my Everlast, they didn't have these two pieces of equipment out. At the time also, I was trying to get the most bang for my buck as far as multiple pieces of equipment in one machine. Like I said, been very pleased with the other machine. Just had it, you know, it's the way circumstances are. You got to upgrade things at times. And this is a very, so I'm going to actually build, I've already got the aluminum cut for it right here. Okay. I'm actually going to build a little rack, and I'm going to use the spool gun. I'm going to learn, this is going to be a learning with the spool gun on this thing. And it's sitting right there. I'm going to build a little stand where this literally is going to sit right above, and I'm going to add some stuff to the side for holders. But it's going to have a little wood shelf, and this machine is going to sit above the TIG. And the reason is you're not opening up a lid on the TIG, whereas you are on the wire welder to get to the wire. So right now it's kind of sit, we're full, we got a lot of things going on, but I'm going to be building a very simple coat rack, and very simple, something I've been meaning to knock out. Number one, I've been wanting a coat rack in here for things, so this is going to be in the garage. It's the rustic horseshoe rebar. Use it up and make it, you know, a good idea for a project. I've been needing a coat rack in here for my, when I put on a heavy jacket for welding and different things. So let me go ahead and rotate this out of the way here a little bit. There we go. Alright, so we are going to go ahead and use the gas. Just because I was playing with it last night, and we're running over here at around about 12, 13. Alright, and I was playing with it last night, just burning on some stuff, and I'm not too concerned about looks, because this is literally going to be in the garage here, and it's going to be a coat rack. And I just, you know, used a flap wheel, went in, buzzed off the major rust, held down, and it's going to be mounted on the wall over there to hang up jackets and things. So we'll go ahead first, let's get us my other sleeve. Well, actually, let's go ahead and use, yeah, here we go, here it is. This is one of my welding shirts. Alright. So, I'm always talking about, you know, guys wanting to weld without protection. That's what UV light actually, it pulls, UV light eats you up. And I cover up my arms. Some guys are like, oh, it's just put lotion on, and years down the road, you're turning into an old, wrinkled, dried out, cancerous mess. So, just throwing this on for the arms. That's why I wear. That's why I get black T-shirts mostly. Well, number one, they don't show the grime and stains as much, and number two, they reflect the UV light. This is just a long sleeve, inexpensive shirt I got at Walmart for like 15 bucks or whatever, Western style. And after the wife washed it the first time, you can see what UV light actually does. Okay, that's, I mean, you know. Alright, so I'm going to let you guys back at an angle. I'm going to have to take my American Rotary hat off here. We're going to get our welding hat on over here. And you guys, while I'm at it, I want to give a huge shout out to, and I'm using these things all the time. I got to where now I keep them in buckets handy. This is the small last batch, some of what I ordered from Empire Abrasives. You guys, they've got some stuff out right now. Link in the bottom description, Empire Abrasives. I have boatloads of their stuff, and I love it. They've got all sorts of stuff. Flat discs, you name it, go check them out. They're a sponsor of the bash. Promo code in the description box at the bottom. If you email them or talk to Joe G, tell them I sent you, they will hook you up. They've got great stuff. All right, we'll go ahead and get this on, our helmet. I'm not going to use a welding hat today because we're not going to be doing a whole big bunch. We're going to get our gloves. Use this old set since I'm not TIGging. It's got a few holes, so my hands aren't close. They'll still work. Plus these are comfortable, you know. Holes like that you don't want to TIG in because you can burn through, but these I use for MIG welding and other stuff. I've got several sets, so alright. So we got our gas set, we're turned on. I've been farting and I'm still going to mess with, again, this is rebar and horseshoes. Literally, horseshoes are about the same type of material as rebar. It's a general purpose, nothing fancy, soft material. We're going to do that, and then we're going to weld these on. I'm going to tag some of these on, so those are going to be the hooks that hang up there. But first off, we'll go ahead and tag those, and we'll get started. And make sure you guys can get a good view. I'll move you over here. So I know it's going to be bright and flashy. Alright. And I'll try to get you guys can see and hear the machine and listen. Okay. So doors closed, machine's on. And I know I'm going to be running. So run 035. I just put new wire in here. And I've got my nozzle gel handy. So when we get warm we can clean our nozzle. We've got a pair of needle nose, because you always need to trim your wire short. Let's go ahead and get started. We got everything set up and we'll just start, and well, actually let's move left to right. Alright. Want to add a little more voltage to this wire. A little more speed, a little more voltage. There we go. You want to hear that nice, smooth. Oh yeah, nice and smooth. And again, all I did was pull the rust off the top, so literally this is like kind of worst case scenario. Now that we got our tip warm, let's add a little, keep it clean. Nothing fancy. We'll come in here, we'll tag this in. Oh yeah, loving it, man. It makes it so easy and fast when you have a machine that works well. And once you get it dialed in for your thickness, you can just go with it. loving this. Whoop. There we go. For general purposes. Do another quick. And there we go. We'll shut her off. I need to build me another stand. Something, excuse me, similar to that to hold my welder. Let's go ahead and shut her gas off. Over here, crack the garage door. I'm going to hang that so it doesn't touch anything. I know it's been raining, wind blowing, even trying to snow earlier today. So, there we go. Alright, so a quick down and dirty demonstration of what we got going on. All the smoke. Nice, bright, hazy day. You can hear sirens in the distance. So, there we go. Nothing fancy, just throwing some stuff together, working the machine. Again, that was some shielded wire, and I was running a 75-25 argon CO2 mix. Just because I wanted to run it with to see how well it would work, because I know Adam Booth was talking about dual shielding and stuff. It's still it doesn't spatter as bad. I will say this on this machine and this wire is well over 20 years old, probably closer to 30. We've got like another 10 rolls of that stuff that's big. So I'm just going to use that for general purpose stuff. Now I know using regular ER70S2, 6 and all that is going to work, and it's not going to spatter. For this, for general purpose, demonstration purposes, it works great. You know, loving the machine. Like I said, these have been out for less than 2 years, and I'm going to do a separate video when I get set up and move this off, and I'm going to demonstrate the TIG, the Squarewave TIG 200. Been very pleased with both of them. This is the MIG, Power MIG Dual 180, 180 amp, and I'm pleased with it. Pleased as punch, loving them. If you guys have any questions, I know you can contact Lincoln. They've got their website. And there's a lot of videos out there that guys that really go into the mundane details and everything. But I'm pleased with it so far. I like the fact it's dual voltage, so if I do need to carry it around somewhere, or let's say you wanted to be out four-wheeling with your buddies and you have a little generator, that would be the machine right there to have, honestly, if you want to take with you. So in case something breaks, you can still do, depending on a small generator, you can do 110 just to get you by, you know, if you're out riding motorcycles, four-wheelers, UTVs, stuff like that, and something breaks, you could patch yourself up. You know, real handy machine. I want to say this machine alone is right around the $1,000 price point out the door, depending on where you're at in the U.S. Again, if you have to have it shipped, it's going to cost more. The MIG gun, they cut me a smoking deal. I'll show you the spool gun real quick, like, since I've been talking about it. So, I haven't even plugged it in to the welder yet. And it's separate. Now, I will say this MIG gun can set on they have a list of in here of the welders it will work with. Okay, go to Lincoln's website for further details as to what welder it will work with. So it's the spool gun, real nice. So it comes with a roll of 4043. Now, depending on the welder you have, you may or may not need to install this little wiring harness. On the MIG Dual 180, you do not. So this is literally going to sit here. It won't get used. And when you run 5356, you have to run this spring with their setup in here. They talk about it, but I haven't used it yet. The wire's still in the holder. There's some extra tips here for the MIG gun. You know, pretty hands. I'll do a separate video on this when I get ready to do it, so that way we're not cutting things short as far as, man, I wish you'd have showed me more. I am going to do a separate video on, so we'll call this just the video on the wire welder. If you want, you're going to see it more videos. The next one I'll do will probably be the spool gun, because I'm going to use the spool gun to build the rack to stack the welders, the red power of tower. The red tower of power, there we go, get that straight. So, and then after that will be, when I get things cleaned up, I will sit down and do demonstrations on the TIG 200 Squarewave, specifically aluminum. We'll start off with aluminum, then we'll switch over to DC. And I've already, as a matter of fact, I already did some welding with that and running some aluminum bronze on some stuff. Build up on some cast iron stuff, worked great. So very, very pleased with both machines so far. They're new, on the market less than 2 years now. So there you go. I hope you guys have enjoyed today's video. This has been a brief overview. I've got a lot of projects going on. You guys see in the background, I put the crank up on the lathe to get it out of the way so it wouldn't get knocked around. Got parts ordered to build the motor on it. I'm still working on the surface grinder. I got my fingers out in a lot of areas. So we are going to the Bar Z Summer Bash 2017, end of June. It's June 25th, Rancho Cucamonga, California. You guys get a hold of Stan Zakowski. I know there's still some opening spots available. And so we're going to see everybody out there. I know American Rotary is going to be there. All Industrial Tool Supply, they're going to be there too. I'm going to be there hanging out with Jeff Perry, the owner of the company, and he's going to be helping do some giveaways and stuff like that. Phenomenal group of guys. Thank you to all the sponsors. Again, Empire Braces, you guys are phenomenal. Joe G, you're awesome. They got a big package and a lot of neat stuff coming out this year. Big Gator Tools, they've already ponied up to the sponsor, and they've already sent their stuff out. I mean, they sent their stuff out, I think, back in December. So a lot of great new stuff coming out. Going to see you guys out there. If you guys have any questions, comment in the description box below. My public email address, if you guys have any questions, eagledustoff37@gmail.com. Aaron was making noise. Yeah, he likes to project too down there. So anyway, you guys, I love constructive comments. Let me know. I'll post stuff on social media, Instagram, as well as Facebook of things I got going on. At times I'll even do like a Facebook Live behind the scenes of the stuff that I'm not going to show on the channel. So if you guys want to do the social media thing, it'll be on Instagram and Facebook. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it, you guys and gals. And I mean it every single time. Take care of yourself and take care of your family, because remember, at the end of the day, you and your family is all you got. Until next time, get out in the garage. Hey, and if you got a welder, fire that baby up and start making some neat projects out of old rebar and horseshoes. We'll talk to you later. This stuff is fun. Bye-bye.